Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show at 1 o'clock. It's an afternoon show today. I don't know if we're going to have our same degenerates in the comments today. I'm going to miss you guys, but
I don't know, we'll see.
We'll see, but we'll see. I can be hopeful. Sorry we had to switch it up on you guys, but we're doing it for content. We got to go out there and watch the entire practice today out at Bucs OTAs. Hassan Reddick was there, and I'll say good afternoon. I'm going to have to change my vernacular the entire show. Good afternoon to you, Tim Ham, from our DFW affiliate in Dallas. How are you, partner?
I'm doing well, man. This is a switch up. It's noon Central Time, and I've gotten more done from 7 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. than I get done normally in the entire day after our normal time of this show.
So you're saying you like this time frame a little bit better. We'll throw it out there in the comments. You guys want it a little bit later on in the afternoon for training camp. We're definitely going to have to do this.
Yeah.
We were live out there last year, and I don't get to see the last 45 minutes, and mostly that's the good team stuff, so we miss it. So we're going to adjust that as well. We can get interviews and bring it to you because we got great interviews today. We got Baker Mayfield and Rashad White that we're both. We're going to bring you both of that. Tyke Smith spoke as well. We might show you a little bit of that. Todd Bowles spoke, but mostly informational stuff that we'll just pass on to you. Nothing really in depth or anything. So we got lots to get to today on OTAs. And so how does this affect your day drinking? Is this a good thing or a bad thing, Timmy?
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay. Yeah. Does the Fireball taste better at 7 a.m. or noon? I don't know.
It depends on how much Fireball I drank the night before, quite honestly.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Good. All right. So we got lots to get to. I'm going to tell you what we saw today in training camp. We saw some good stuff. We were inside at first, and everybody's like, nice air conditioning. Then the rain showers passed, and they brought us outside, and everybody had to sweat, like Todd Bowles. It was hot. It wasn't summertime hot, but it was, it's a little toasty. So the boys got a good workout, got a good froth going. I'll say just in general, the defense got the better of the offense in the red zone today. They won a couple of red zone, 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. And the 1v1, Baker had to throw it away 2 or 3 times. They never scored. Trask did get a touchdown to Rashad White, and we'll hear some interesting stuff from Rashad White here in just a little bit as he spoke to the media, addressed some of the off-season concerns of him not being the starter, so to speak. I don't think that's a big deal. Obviously, injuries and stuff will happen, and he'll get his share of touches. I think Bucky becomes more of the first team back, if you will, but I think they're both going to share a large part of the role, along with Sean Tucker as well. Sean Tucker had some nice plays today, and I just, I think he may be the I think Bucky's the quickest to the hole. I think Sean maybe has kind of that breakaway speed, and he's really good at reading blocks, and it just seems like every time he gets the ball, it's 7, 8, 9 yards, much like Bucky. And then Rashad White, not as good a runner, but really good at pass protection and really good out of the backfield. And I think he's going to get 15 to 20 touches a game. So they've got a lot of weapons, and that's one thing you really see out there is they've got a ton of weapons. Abuka is so damn good. He caught a touchdown pass today in traffic. He's really good. He made probably 3 or 4 contested catches today where he didn't get a whole lot of separation, but made the catch, uses his body so well to shield from the defender. He's just a very polished receiver for a rookie, like extremely polished. And that's what you get with these Ohio State guys. They come in coached by Brian Hartline, former NFL receiver, and they're ready to go. They're ready to go. The route running is excellent. Their body placement is perfect, and they can make a lot of contested catches. So Abuka is starting in the slot, and obviously Chris Godwin not out there. Bowles did tell us that he was rehabbing inside, and when he's ready to get outside, he'll get outside. So,
those Ohio State boys, man, they come into the NFL already pro ready.
Yep.
Just like the linebackers did back in the day. That place used to be linebacker U back in our day.
Yeah.
And it has evolved into wide receiver U in the past 10 years or so.
Yeah, he's really, really good. And you can see why, it wasn't just the Bucs that wanted him. And he's going to be an immediate impact player, and he's going to have to be, because the more and more you hear about Chris Godwin, the less and less likely you think he's going to be ready for camp. And the fact that he turned down $30 million a year from the Patriots, and that article that Dan Pompei did, he kind of told the story of how bad it was for him. It was much worse than when he tore his 3 knee ligaments.
Yeah.
This particular injuries, he tore all the ligaments because basically his ankle was turned backwards,
right?
And he broke a bone in his lower leg. So it's been a lot of rehab, and he's still not ready to be out on the field. So with training camp, 6 weeks away, I doubt very seriously if he'll be ready for the start of training camp, and I doubt very seriously if he'll be ready for the beginning of the season. But if you got Ibuka, you don't have to rush him. This is a three-year plan, and you want Chris Godwin available in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and it makes the selection during the first day in the first round of Ibuka, it makes it make sense, right? Because at the time we were all kind of looking at each other like, wait, what?
Yeah,
but now
all the edge rushers that were still on the board.
Yeah, knowing what we know now about Godwin's recovery, and Light probably knew all of this. Obviously, he did. Going back to then, he knew that was going to be a concern. It makes all the sense in the world, and it makes it that much more of a genius pick by Light.
Yeah, and we'll see how much trust Baker Mayfield develops in him. You can see in practice already. They were doing call-it periods, so Bowles would basically say, "All right, 3rd and 7, 2nd and 12." And then Grizzard would have to call the play off the run, and then they're simulating games in terms of calling plays. And Grizzard is going to have a good feel for that already. I think you can see that, but you could see a couple of those 3rd down plays, they were to Ibuka. So that just tells you Baker Mayfield already has a lot of confidence in him, and in the red zone as well. Mike Evans, not that we're worried about Mike Evans, but there was a couple of balls that it's like, I think Mike Evans goes up and gets those balls if it's a regular season game, in the red zone. So maybe we can give the offense a little bit of credit for that, but you just don't know. It's underwear football, so it is what it is. Other observation. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, you just wonder how much time they're going to invest here in the off season and camp and in actual training camp before you get into the preseason with Ibuka on the field with Evans, because you can't forget what McMillan gave them after Godwin's injury last year. He was inactive 4 weeks of the 10 weeks before Godwin got hurt. And then came back and helped save the offense. Really, he developed some great chemistry with Baker, and you don't want to forsake any of that just to see what Ibuka can do. But I mean, obviously, you think Ibuka is going to be better than McMillan. His ceiling's much, much higher. But at the same time, you don't want to kind of lose what McMillan had, the chemistry he formulated with Baker, and the important part of the offense that he was last season. You need to keep all of that consistent while you wait on Godwin and until you know what's going to happen.
And I think it'd be interesting to see how J-Mac reacts to all this, to be quite honest. He as we mentioned last year, he kind of got a little bit of a slow start, and there were, which is expected in the NFL when you meant to make that jump, even as successful as he was at Washington and on the national spotlight, it's tough. And I thought J-Mac was a little, I don't think frail's the right word. He's just not as big as Ibuka, not as big as some. You're good when you make that transition to the NFL. I think a lot of college receivers who got away with not being very physical, because they're great route runners. In the NFL, they let the defensive backs put their hands on you a lot more. You got to get stronger, and I think J-Mac did get stronger in the offseason. I think he probably struggled, was a little frustrated early on with that. Then he found his way. He found out, kind of what he can get away with, and scored those 8 touchdowns the later part of the season. So, but I mean, listen, it is what it is. When they go out and draft a receiver with their first round pick, and you thought you were going to ascend into that role, it's a bit of a wake up call. There's no question about it. And even though, as you say, it wasn't really about him, J-Mac, as much as it was about Chris Godwin, knowing that, they needed a little bit of insurance right off the get-go. Look, you have a Super Bowl winning ready team. Maybe you can't wait to get Chris Godwin back. You just can't wait. You gotta go get a guy that you can go 3 wide, right? Because it's such a huge part of the offense, right? You're going to go 3 wide right away. You need 3 starting receivers, and that's why they went and got Ibuka. Now, when Godwin comes back, who takes the step back? I mean, there's only one football, right? And is that going to be J-Mac? Is that going to be Ibuka? It'll be interesting to see because Ibuka was running a lot of slot receiver today, and I think, it's going to get down to production. And when Ibuka's on the field, if he's killing it early on in the season, when Godwin comes back, and that's what makes it's great competition. That's what makes both players better. And J-Mac knows that. Now he dropped a deep ball. Boy, Baker threw a freaking bomb, and it was 50, 60 yards downfield. Spiral, hit him right in stride, right between the 1 and the 5, and he just dropped it. He just dropped it.
It's early still.
I know, but listen, when the competition, Ibuka's out there making contested catches, and that happens, it's just, listen, it's a random day in June. Yeah. It means nothing, right? Right?
Yep.
Or does it?
Or does it?
When the competition is like that. So this is what I mean. It makes you better even in every day of practice. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And today, Ibuka, if we're keeping score, Ibuka had a better day than J-Mac.
Yeah.
And it's way premature, and it doesn't really, it's just underwear football. We get it. What Jalen McMillan did last year was real football. It's real football. He scored 8 touchdowns in the latter half of the season and was dominant in the red zone. So Ibuka hadn't done that yet. We haven't seen it yet. We think he can, but that's a lot. It's a lot to get done. So bottom line is the Bucs are really, really set at wide receiver. They got a great, and they'll be able to, and they got depth, and they'll be able to withstand some injuries if they get them, or if it takes a while for Chris Godwin to come back. So that's good news. What else did we see out there? Oh, interesting that. I'm gonna tell you what my favorite part of the whole day is this video right here. Look at that. See that number 5 right there? That's Hassan Reddick.
Gee, who could that be?
Hassan Reddick, Vita Vea, Elijah Cansey, and Yaya Diaby. Look at that front 4, bro.
Look, we told you guys to settle down on Reddick.
That warms my heart. And then they bring up this little bus. Come on. Hold on. Here he comes. Big 5'6". There he is.
Wow.
All 452 pounds of him. The pure Desmond Watson.
No, he's 437, sir.
437. Okay.
That's what they're saying.
Actually, he looked slimmer today than he did 2 weeks ago when I saw him. Like, noticeably. How about that?
Yeah, Sergio, there is a Reddick sighting. You betcha there was.
Yeah. We got a little J-Mac here, running back punts. Yep. Just give me a little flavor. Go get him. Yeah, so a little flavor there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. It was
loving it.
And then we went outdoors and we weren't allowed to shoot anymore. They did say tomorrow, though, we're going to be able to shoot a little bit more. So we'll be able to get more video for you for tomorrow's practice.
That's awesome.
Sterling Shepard had a bad day today, but I don't even think he's going to make the team, to be quite honest.
Oh, well, we kind of figured that. I think I wrote about that early in when they drafted Ibuka, that days were kind of numbered anyway.
Bryce Hall had a pick 6 today. Bryce Hall had a little deflected pick 6, and Jacob Parrish had a pick 6 that he dropped. He dropped it. He's had a great camp.
3rd round failure right there. I'm calling it.
Right.
No, I'm just
bust. Absolutely.
I'm not calling
Yeah,
it.
Reddick had a couple of plays, and again, it's underwear football, but you could see that dude is fast. He is really, really fast coming off the corner. He's quick twitch. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He looks 6'1", 240, maybe 245, but man, is he quick. He is so quick back there. What else do we see? Trask, I tell you what, he does not instill any confidence in me. He's not a great athlete. He doesn't run very well. And I don't know about Trask. I know they signed him to a contract extension. I would not be shocked if they wound up bringing in a veteran.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I know they like him, but I don't know. I don't know. You have such a good team, and if Baker were to go down for a couple, can he do it? I don't know. We don't know. I last preseason I thought he played pretty well. He's had moments in the preseason where he looks pretty good, but he's just a huge unknown. He's just never done it. And if a Flacco were to come available, if Jameis Winston were to be available, all right, maybe not Jameis, but yeah.
I don't. Okay, let's go on this. I don't think Flacco is going to be available because I think he's Cleveland's starter. If anybody, oh yeah,
it's not Shador. I thought Shador already won the job. From what I'm hearing,
Shador hasn't even participated in 11 on 11s yet. He is still going. So I
read some of this NFL media. He's going to be the rookie of the year, and he's definitely going to start week 1.
So here, let me tell you who
the conspiracy against him.
Let me tell you who your available free agent quarterbacks are right now, JP. And you tell me which one you want over Trask. At age 32 with 9 years experience, Carson Wentz.
It's a maybe. He got more experience than Trask.
At age 32 with 10 years experience, formerly last year played with Detroit. How about Teddy Bridgewater?
Nah, he just seems washed.
He seems washed his whole career.
But there's some guys that are going to wash out. I'm just
going right now. I'll tell you, there's a guy right now I would take over Trask. Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
Give me Tyler Huntley right now to back up Baker Mayfield. I would be ecstatic with that.
Yeah. Oh.
Or you got Desmond Ridder, Jake Fromm, Jeff Driscoll, and C.J. Beathard.
Yeah. Nah. Pass on all of them. But I think some other guys will come available. There's a couple loaded quarterback rooms. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's not a huge priority right now. But it's
not at all.
Something we could talk about.
And you know what's interesting about Trask is was he under a 2-year contract? I can't remember what his current contract was. I think he just re-signed for 2 years, right?
Yeah, I think he re-signed for 2 years. Yeah.
So after that 2-year contract is up, because almost said Todd Bridges. The fireball's hit me early. Todd Bowles, Todd Bridges. Be crazy if he spoke about something.
How about Lloyd Bridges?
Bridges, yeah, he probably knows his quarterbacks too. So Todd Bowles mentioned on the Pewter Report podcast 4 players that he thinks that are on his roster that would turn into NFL coaches. Did you see this?
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
And Kyle Trask was one of those guys.
Yep.
I mean, and God knows he's had enough bench time to learn the game as from a coaching standpoint, right?
He could probably call the plays. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I think he would be a great coach, actually. Yeah.
That's intriguing, right? So after this 2-year deal is up.
Levante David, he mentioned.
Was Levante David. God, who were the other guys? Was it Vea?
I think he did mention Vita Vea. Yeah. Yeah, Vita Vea. Yeah.
I have to look it up, but I wrote a piece on it. I can't even remember. But yeah, Trask was the one that stood out to me. That maybe after this 2-year deal is up, and they say they draft a guy this year, or they pull in somebody and they sign him to a 2-year deal or whatever, they end up having to release Trask. Hey man, why don't you just come in the coach's room with us and we'll keep you in the organization. We love you, brother, but let's move you. Let's transition you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad at that.
So a couple other observations. As Christopher Cole mentions, Rachaad White has slimmed down dramatically, 212 pounds. He said he played at 223 last year, maybe even heavier the year before. He looked dramatically different. He slimmed down to 212. So, trying to get a little quicker, a little faster. Yeah, listen, and we're going to hear from Rachaad in just a little bit. Very thoughtful stuff. I asked him about, kind of the room and how it's different with Bucky kind of taking over the spotlight. And it's not really. And it's these guys. I don't think that stuff really matters. It's just a matter of touches. Now, obviously, he is in a contract year, and the more stats he puts up, the more money he's going to make. So it is important. But I also think the Bucs would love to re-sign him and will probably offer him as good a deal as anybody will because they know how valuable he is, and they love continuity. I don't think Rachaad White's going to go out there and break the bank. Yeah. Now, if Bucky were to get hurt and he ends up playing 80% of the time and just sharing with Sean Tucker and puts up a 1,800-yard season, maybe somebody comes out and gives him more money. We'll see, but I think he's super valuable to the Buccaneers in the role that he plays. That room is really good between Rachaad White, Bucky Irving, and Sean Tucker. It's really good. And they talk a little bit about rookie Josh Williams, who looks, he's a little kind of a smaller guy, but he's got some burst. He definitely caught my eye today, just catching the ball out of the backfield. He's definitely got some burst. So this roster is loaded. It's absolutely loaded. And watching some of the defensive backs, Shiloh Sanders out there, just a really fluid athlete. I wasn't sure if he was going to even make the team, and I think it's going to be kind of iffy, but I think he's definitely going to be a practice squad guy, and he'll be around. I think he'll get some roster time this year. I really do. And Jacob Parrish dropped the interception, but man, is that guy quick. He is super fast, super quick, and Morrison looks like every bit the part of a second-round pick. Those two corners, I think, are definitely going to make a big impact this year.
What did Bowles say at the combine? What kind of player did he want for a secondary this year?
All Hawks.
He got two of them in the second and third round.
Yeah. Sorry, before we get to the interviews, I want to just hit the Rays, and we're going to get to your comments as well. Hell of a night last night for the Rays. What a game at Fenway Park. It started slow. Shane Baz looked really, really good early on, and then kind of ran into a little bit of trouble as he does. I think that he's going to eventually end up back in the bullpen and will be a hell of a setup guy, especially with Shane coming back and Joe Boyle maybe coming up. Now, he may trade somebody, but we'll see. But he was really good early on, made some big pitches. And then late in the game, Ian Seymour gets called up from Durham. This is a hell of a story. Pitcher, left-handed pitcher, because we're out of bullpen arms. Gets called up. He grows up in that area as a Red Sox fan. Has been to, actually as a little leaguer, got to play on Fenway Park Field. I mean, just incredible story. He gets called up just for this, and his first appearance in the major leagues is against the Red Sox in a tie ball game, and has to stay on for extra innings and gets the W. May have gotten a little bit of help from the umpire. Rays may have enjoyed a little bit of a strike zone help from the umpire last night, both ways. Just a little bit for Seymour, a little bit for, against the Red Sox. So we'll take it. It's kind of a big part of how they won the game. But again, the Rays gave up the lead. The bullpen was not great. Fairbanks did not get the job done. So they had to turn to Seymour, and he gets the job done. And they get the win 10-8. Now they're 5 games over 500, 4 games back of the Yankees. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? And they're playing some really, really good baseball.
What'd I say before we came on the air? 15 of their last 19.
15 of 19. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cameronero again, big last night. 6 games over 500. Yeah, 6 games over 500. How about that? At one point, they had lost, 9 out of 10 at home?
Yeah.
And were 5 or 6 games under 500. Mm-hmm. A hell of a turnaround for this team. And
you know what? You know what fixed it? The Texas Rangers came to town and gave you guys all the confidence you needed with the 3-game sweep.
That'll help.
You're welcome.
Help. Yeah.
Jonathan Aranda dropped a ground ball last night that wasn't fun to watch either.
But man, look, what about that hit he had last night to right field? Big RBI single. He's such a good hitter. Such a good hitter. He just doesn't have any holes in his swing. He should be on the All-Star team. He really, really should be on the All-Star team. He's been everything and more than we thought. And he's just, I think, scratching the surface of what his power bat can be, especially at Steinbrenner Field. But he's so good at hitting it the other way. I just love watching that cat hit. He's just really, really good. So to get another win off the Rays, and just imagine, they're so much better than the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So much better than the Red Sox. And look at, it's crazy sometimes how bad Boston can be. All right, let's get a little bit of comments since you guys are joining us here today. Rick says, nice of JP to start later so Tim could make bail.
Rick, come on, man. That was a secret.
Christopher Cole, let's go Bucs. Is Palmer on the trade block? Yes, I think he is, and he was not out there. He's battling something.
What do you think they would take for Palmer? Do you think they would take as low as a 6th rounder?
That's where they got in him. They drafted him in the 6th round.
Yeah, but they want a little bit of value. I mean, I was thinking if Pittsburgh offered them a 5th rounder right now, they'd probably take it.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh needs, I don't know they need Trey Palmer, but they need another receiver.
And listen, we got enough depth there. That's not, and I don't think Trey's, as much as we like him, he's got great speed. He just has not made an impact, And he's had some opportunities. No doubt about it.
Yeah, last year was a big one.
Yeah, Sergio Biltre says there's the red exciting. Yeah, man, he looks good. Yeah, he looks so good. He's a very, obviously he's been working out. He is fit, and chomping at the bit.
You know what? And seeing him in the number 5 for some reason, like I was a proponent of when the NFL changed their numbers, to the rules, and now you've got linebackers and defensive players wearing single digits and running backs wearing single digits and stuff.
I like it.
I always thought that looked good in college, but man, the number 5 on a freaking pass rusher, it's just so collegiate looking. It's awesome.
I like it. I like it. I know why.
Man, it's tough.
You got 5. So I was asking, like, what could be and I said, look at this front 4. What do you think the nickname? What kind of nickname can we give the front 4? Because we got Yaya Diaby.
Yep.
Wearing number 0. We got 5 on one side. So is there a 5-0?
Hawaii 5-0, Tampa 5-0.
Yeah. Vita Vea's a little Tampa 5-0.
Yeah.
That's just the 2 outside guys, but we don't want to ignore the inside guys. So I'm just throwing some stuff out. What do you guys got? What are we going to name this front 4? With Reddick, Diaby, Cansey, and Vita Vea. And I want to forget Logan Hall.
I got one. The Pewter People Eaters.
The Pewter People Eaters.
Oh, that's probably a defensive thing a long time ago, right?
Yeah, the Purple People Eaters. The Pewter People Eaters. I kind of like it, but doesn't wow me. Didn't wow me. I don't know. I'm a little creatively challenged right now.
The Great Wall of Tampa.
It's got to be kind of, alluding to who these guys are. We have Vita Vea, Cansey. So, Vita Vea's got that Maui vibe going.
Yeah.
Is there something there? I don't know. He's kind of the leader of the pack with Reddick. I don't know, just throwing it out there. See what you think. See what we come up with.
I don't know. The peanut gallery is way more creative than we are.
Yes, they are today. Yeah, I got a little energy drain. I don't know where I'm at today. Is this just a little different?
Opposite. Well, you've already been out there in the heat, though. That's why.
You think why? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit.
You need one of those fans that mount on your chest and just blows while you're doing the little mister thing.
I got my little fan in here. You don't know that?
Yeah, but while you're out at practice,
the neck fan.
Yeah, the neck fan.
No, we're not doing the neck fan.
They go around your neck.
We were actually talking about the neck fan today. Cody says, whatever time your show starts, I'll be watching. It's way better than Pat Donovan, in my opinion.
Thank you, Cody.
Thank you, Cody. Let's just leave that there. Not going to take the bait. Sergio says, if we have any concerns, it's backup quarterback. Don't you love that? What's your concern on the roster? Backup quarterback. Yeah. It's good. When that's your concern, I got nothing else.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Backup quarterback. Yeah.
I mean, that's the least important thing unless, God forbid, knock on my hardwood 1940s desk here, something happens to Baker.
Yeah, that's what Sergio says. I mean, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Do you want to, listen, it's rare to have a Super Bowl roster, right? It just, like I said, 8 to 9 teams every year, I think, start the season where you could win it, right? And I think the Bucs are one of those teams. So that means most of the time you're outside that window. So when you're in it, you got to, I don't think you can leave it up to Kyle Trask. And, a lot of people would like, if Baker goes down, we'll go get somebody. Well, then you got to bring him in. He's got to learn the offense. Why not bring him in now so he's already ready to go? I think it's a bit of a risk, especially the way Baker plays. We'll hear from Baker in a little bit when he's, was asked about that. Because, there's been talk about we got to, keep him from running around. Yeah, he's not okay with that. He's not okay with that. But, it's the way he plays. And you don't want to clip his wings. Like, that's the last thing you want to do. So you got to have, if he would go down for, 4 to 6 week injury, I think Trask can come off the bench and win a couple games. Yeah. But I don't know. Never seen him do it.
If you're stuck in a midseason battle for first place in the South and it's with the Falcons, you don't want to miss him for that amount of time, and yeah, you can't, he's a peacock. He's got to fly. I mean, I think Canales and Cohen the last 2 years have given him some, maybe more latitude than he's had. And look, all he did was produce 2 career seasons. So you got to let him do that, or he's going to be Baker from Cleveland, and you don't want that Baker.
Mm-mm.
But at the same time, you got to have somebody behind him, man. That is very concerning.
All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We will hear from Baker Mayfield and Rachaad White. You guys have any questions about OTAs, players? Put them over here in the comments section, and we will answer them when we come back. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. We're coming to you from our Jeeves Law Group studio in beautiful South Howard in South Tampa. They're local, they are trusted, and they get results. So if you're involved in an accident, got some issues at work, any legal questions at all, JeevesLawGroup.com, non-attorney spokesman. Also, On-Site Construction, FL.com, On-Site Construction and Restoration. That's the contractor you want to contact now to get your free consultation. Get on the list. What list is that? That's the hurricane damage list. So if the hurricane comes through here, you're already on the list with a contractor, and you will get first dibs. First come, first served. Get on the list. On-Site Construction, FL.com. All right, back in 3 with Baker Mayfield. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays! JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park. So free parking, great place for pregame and post-game. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here at our special time during OTAs. We'll go 1 to 3 today, 1 to 3 tomorrow. And then Thursday, we have something really special planned for you. 5 to 7 at Riveters. We're going to do a live remote at Riveters, and we're giving away front row tickets once again to a Rays game. Front row tickets to a Rays game must be present to win. So come join us for happy hour. And if that's not enough, and don't you think it ought to be, John Gerber, PGA Pro betting expert, will be joining us live and giving free golf lessons right there. He will. We're going to set up a driving range, driving net. No, not doing that. But
nothing he loves more than giving stuff away for free.
That's right. So we'll have some hats for you, all kinds of gear. So come on down and join us at Riveters 5 to 7. So we'll have all the OTAs from Thursdays. We'll wrap up all the OTAs, and we'll be watching the U.S. Open, first round of the U.S. Open. And then we got hockey that night. So we got game 4 of the hockey. We got U.S. Open. So we'll be taking your U.S. Open questions for Johnny Gerber, Bucs OTAs, and we're giving away front row tickets. Is that not enough for you people? Is that not enough? Is that enough? I think it's enough. It's not enough.
Never enough.
The hell with you.
Hey, so I was looking at the NFL scheduling things here since Aaron Rodgers is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
And, outside of the NFC South, because we're going to have all of the interesting games with the Bucs and the Falcons and the Bucs and the Panthers and all of that. And of course, the Saints,
Can't wait.
But since, of course, I cover the Browns and I cover the Steelers for Athlon Sports. So I write about both very frequently. And I saw a quote from Myles Garrett early this morning, because we're already looking at Aaron Rodgers. Of course, the Steelers play the very first game of their season against the New York Jets,
right?
Which now pines Rodgers and Justin Fields against each other, the two starting quarterbacks of the other team from last year. So you have that as a drama,
Right.
You also have, I believe, in week 8 or 10, I can't remember which one it is, the Green Bay Packers visiting the Steelers. So you have Rodgers playing his old team with an opportunity to become only the, 5th player in the history of the NFL to beat all 32 NFL teams.
How interesting.
But now the quote I saw from Myles Garrett, the first number 1 must-watch non-Bucs game for me, I don't know the Cowboys or any of the must-watch games, week 6, Browns, Steelers, an AFC North matchup, because this morning Myles Garrett at their minicamp said he can't wait to put Aaron Rodgers, quote, in the graveyard, end quote.
Oh, that's going to be a popular opinion.
And if anybody can do it, it'll be Garrett, because that Steelers offensive line's terrible.
I have absolutely no interest in Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they are just meh.
I don't either. I kind of want to see him get hurt again.
I see him get hurt, but humbled maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of over for me. He's just not that guy anymore. So I kind of like a lot of the stuff that he's become more likable to me than I think most of you in the past few years. I love his stances on the vaccine and all those things. I think it was very courageous what he did.
Yeah.
Clearly he was proven to be right, while so many other people on their high horses were proven to be very, very wrong. Yeah. So anyway, we're not going down that rabbit hole. So I appreciate that part of it, but my quarterback's not coming in after OTAs are over. I'm just not going to sign because I don't want to do all that other stuff with my teammates. I mean, you're the leader of the team, bro. You got to be there. You got to be there. And I'll take my Baker Mayfield any day of the week.
And it wasn't as if he didn't know he was going to sign with the Steelers until last Thursday when he announced it. He's known this entire time since the Vikings said, "We don't want you here,"
right?
That he was going to Pittsburgh. He just didn't want to have to jack with any of the freaking offseason stuff, the voluntary OTAs, anything before he absolutely had to be there. Right. Which is just part of his character. That's who he's been. He was in Egypt last year when he was with the Jets trying to prepare for their season. He just takes a trip to Egypt. You don't want that on your team. Not who
I want my quarterback.
I've never been an Aaron Rodgers fan ever in his entire career. In the last 15 years or so, he might be one of my most hated figures in all of sports.
Well, I just think his personality doesn't lend itself to being an NFL quarterback, and as he's evolved. Back earlier in his days, I think maybe as he's evolved as a very deep thinker, obviously.
Yeah.
He's kind of a loner. He's kind of an introvert in that way. And that doesn't really play well. I mean, contrast to Baker Mayfield, who I think his personality is perfect for this, and perfect for the Buccaneers. So, all right. Speaking of Bake, let's listen in to Baker Mayfield today. Yeah, so Bake walks up. He's got his hoodie on, just probably about 10, 15 minutes after practice. He just as comfortable as he could possibly be. He just loves being here. This is his home. You'll hear him talking about it. This is where he wants to be forever, and this is where he wants to win a championship. He wants it, and I want it so bad for him and all these guys that are so likable. He's just that guy. He's just that guy. And I don't think his persona, his national persona is so different than who he actually is. And I think that old kind of, cocky Baker thing is kind of going away. I think he's become much more likable, even in the national eye. Not that he's any different. I think maybe he's grown up and been, humbled a little bit.
I think he's gone from cocky to just plain confident and backing it up.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's a difference.
100%. 100%. So here's Baker beating the media here today. I think we got pretty good audio here, so here we go.
Oh, so much.
Said he missed us.
How's the off season now getting into minicamp and everything been for you? It's been really good. I think just obviously the transition from Liam to Grizz has been really, really smooth. Guys just taking ownership of it. Obviously it helps when you have the same pieces back. But then obviously the new additions, the new guys we have, just making sure that when we're teaching it and installing it, the little details don't slip under the rug. You don't take anything for granted, but it's been a really good offseason. Now's the time to get some chemistry down, really get an understanding of the offense, and I think we're in a good place right now. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but good to have Mike back out there today and just to see how it's all coming together.
You texted Jason that you were pretty excited about drafting Emeka. Just what have you seen from him so far in the time you've worked together?
Yeah. Obviously, the physical tools, at this level, you got to have talent. Obviously, he has that, being a first-round draft pick. The thing that sticks out is how cerebral he is. He's so smart. Right now, I think we could plug and play him at any receiver spot. He understands the offense that well, and that's just him being a pro already. And he's not a rookie. He doesn't act like it, at least. So it's been really good to see him take that ownership. He takes it extremely serious, but he's in constant communication. He always wants to be in the right spot at the right time, and he's much like J-Mac of the understanding in zone coverage, and Chris as well, of understanding when to be open, the voids in the zone defense, and how to be friendly to the quarterback. So it's a nice luxury to have.
I mean, that is some high praise right there. I mean, all those things are things that take years and years to learn in the NFL. You know, knowing where you are in zone coverage, finding those soft spots, making yourself available to the quarterback. These are highly nuanced professional receiver things. And, you know, he has been trained up well. And it's one of the reasons the Bucs want him and everybody wanted him. And it's interesting to hear Baker say it from that perspective.
You have the consistency with this offense, second year in a row, and word is you're going to get more responsibility at the line of scrimmage. How does that help you and the team just take this to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the foundation that we tried to, instill last year, and we obviously evolved throughout the year and the season. So it's nice to be able for guys to not have to learn it from scratch. There's obviously a few tweaks and things, motions and different things that Grizz wants to get done, which is great to always. If you're not trying to get better, you're not going to survive. So we're doing that right now, and so for me, it's continuing to over-communicate at the line of scrimmage. That was a big step last year, was the responsibility at the line of scrimmage, like you mentioned, but take it to the next level. Really, really take ownership, over-communicate to where when we get a certain pressure or coverage, guys know what I'm going to check to, and that's the part that I have to continue to try and elevate everybody else around me and take that ownership.
I can't stress enough how important this is in an offense. You know, when you're learning an offense, you don't, in 1 year, it's tough to get to that next level where you're coming to, it's almost like playing a musical instrument. You know, guys, you get to a point where you're not thinking about where you're supposed to put your fingers. It just comes naturally. You know, that's the virtuoso part of it. It becomes part of you. And when he sees it and Mike sees it and Chris sees it, and they all see it at the same time, it's the head nod, you know, those type things that takes an offense to the next level. It's almost, you can't defend it. You can't defend it when they know exactly what you're going to do. So when Brady was in his prime, he could do that with all of his receivers, and they were so smart. And they just, if you know what the coverage is and you know what their responsibilities are and you know where you're going to win, you're at such a huge advantage and within the playbook. And so now with Grizz wants to give him even more responsibility at the line of scrimmage. So when he sees stuff, he can check to it, and the communication is there. Everybody's on the same page. This is why the Bucs wanted the continuity. They could have gone out and got 100 guys that have called plays in the NFL, and but they didn't want to do that because they knew that Baker was taking ownership of this playbook, and they didn't want to have him start over again. They wanted him and everybody else in the offense to continue to grow, because if all this goes well, Baker Mayfield's going to be calling 40 to 50% of the plays at the line of scrimmage. That's we're all what's Grizz going to call? What's Grizz going to call? What's Baker going to call? That's what I'm interested in. What's Baker going to call? And that's why I asked him that question. And you could just hear him, it's that continuity that he knows that he can get you to the right play almost every single time. And that is with the weapons that they have and the continuity they have and the physical talents that they have on offense, especially along the offensive line and in the receivers and in the running backs. Man, this offense can be lethal in its continuity. All right, more Baker.
Is there a little bit more of a vertical element to the passing game this year?
This is fun too.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get some more explosive. Obviously, when you look at the stats, I'm not a big stat guy, but we weren't as much down the field explosives. We were creating a lot of open in the middle and guys getting some yak. But yeah, working on that, being able to connect on it, the chemistry we're trying to build right now, and just the timing of some of these routes, where the landmarks are, understanding if it's too high, one high, where we're trying to throw the ball. So yeah, this is the time of year we're working on it. Obviously, you would love to have more down the field shots, but any completion is a good one.
Baker about you running a little bit less this year, even though you were very effective.
Question about running a little bit less.
This time of the year, just sit around and watch tape.
Why are they mowing the grass?
I'm trying to win games. like I tell you guys, it's football. There's a time and place. On third downs, got to have it situations where I'm going to try and do everything I can to get the first down or whatever it is that we need. But there's also a time and place to throw the ball away. I think when it comes to protecting myself, I think the biggest thing is the sack number, and a lot of that was holding on to the ball. And there's there's give and take. There's the scramble element of trying to create explosive plays, but there's also situations in the game. Where are we at? Are we leading? Are we down? Do we need something? Don't force it. Just throwing the ball away and trusting our defense to get it back to us.
Baker, Coach Bowles talked a couple of months ago about killer instinct, saying the team needs more of it. It's got to come from the players. What does that mean to you?
You know, a lot of times when we would start fast, there's always that lull. And I think in the past 2 years of just me being here, overall, you stand back and look at the beginning of the season to the middle of the season, it's not getting satisfied, always hitting the reset button, whether it's the next week or the next series, next play. So that killer instinct it doesn't matter what we're doing. We gotta put teams away when we're ahead.
When you're talking about lull, are you talking about in games or also like in season? Because the last 2 years you guys have also had to fight your way out of a little bit of a hole in season for different reasons.
Yeah, obviously there's been different circumstances and things that have contributed to the mid-season lulls, but I wouldn't say it's anything with the preparation or week to week. It's just guys just executing, doing their job, and that's what you really try and hone in on the back end of the season is once you know a team, your scheme, you're not installing a whole lot of new plays, so you really got to do the little details well. And so that's really the emphasis right now is guys just trusting each other to do the job and continuing to do it.
A couple of young guys, Tez Johnson, rookie, and Jake Majors, who's obviously taking snaps at center, and then Devin Culp. Those three guys looking to take a jump to the next level for a year or two in their rookie year. What have you seen from them?
Yeah, I think Jake's done a really good job. This offense commands a lot of the center. It really does, mentally, obviously physically, blocking those big boys up front. But he's done a really good job handling the mental aspect of it. Devin's continuing to make strides for us. He was obviously had a little bit of a showcase last year, but continuing to grow and understand what we're trying to get done. He's got so much physical talent, so it's about putting that all together. And Tez Johnson's a guy that obviously a later draft pick, but a lot of talent. Little guy, but really explosive. Understands how to win on leverage. One of those guys you really can't touch in a phone booth, so it's fun to watch him release off press coverage. So we're just trying to get as many people involved. Obviously, last year we understood that you're going to need a lot more than just your starting 11. So trying to get everybody to elevate their standard and be ready to go.
Baker, do you feel like Barton is stepping up into more of a leadership?
All right, that's the first half of Baker Mayfield. Yeah, so you can just tell that he's got such a mastery of this offense, and Scott Reynolds asked that question about going downfield. There's definitely, we saw 2 or 3 shots today in the team period. One of them, as I mentioned, J-Mac dropped. I think I think that's part of what Grizzard's difference is going to be, and there is some new terminology. There are new motions, so it's not all the same. There are a lot of wrinkles, which is good because everybody's watching the tape of the Bucs. They're going to figure out what the Bucs do well and be prepared for it in the this coming season, especially your divisional foes. Who we open up with the Falcons. So
yeah, teams do that even when they don't change offensive coordinators.
Right.
They change their terminology up. Yeah.
So you want a little bit of that, and that's what we're getting from Baker Mayfield. All right, let's go to a little bit more from Baker here. Finishes up. Talking about O-line and Graham Barton.
He's still a rookie till game 3. But Graham's done a great job, and that's that O-line room last year. And hats off to Hainsey how he handled it, but also Graham, leaning on his veterans, not trying to do it all himself, and so he's definitely taken a huge step in the leadership role, and we're going to continue to ask him to do that. And that's much like, Tristan's not exactly a vocal guy, but he's going to continue to be asked to be a leader. And so Graham's done a great job. Obviously, having a year under your belt, the game slows down a lot. So him just being able to control those guys and get them all on the same page is huge for us.
Baker, year 3 for you here in Tampa. A lot of change with the offensive coordinator. You have some continuity there, but personally and professionally, how settled are you in this franchise with this talent and this team?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it since the beginning. This feels like home. It has, and it continues to feel better and better. Just like I said many times, they allow me to be myself, the best version of that, and so that's the best part. And so understanding that I'm around a lot of the same personnel, I'm allowed to and able to get a lot more out of the guys. And so I'm happy to be here, happy to have a home, but we have a lot of unfinished business and things that we need to do to take the next step. We're not just, it's not just about a division title. It's about making a run for the Super Bowl and a deeper playoff run. And that's the attention to detail, the focus and strain that it's going to take for us to take it to the next level. And I think we have the pieces to do it.
Do you have any memories of playing against Hassan Reddick or just watching film of him prepping?
Yeah, he's pretty damn fast off the edge. He's a great player. I know everybody wants to make a big deal about when he's going to be here and when he's not, but he's a good guy and there's a reason he signed here. He wants to help us win, and we're happy to have him.
Baker, how was
last
practice
one
today? A lot of chirping in the red zone there, Anthony.
A lot of chirping.
Talking, do you like that? And then what does it do for the team?
Yeah, AWOC and I go back to our Cleveland days, so we've had a great relationship since then. But it's always great to. I mean, Coach Bull said it last week. You can't talk trash until you know your job, and Anthony Walker's a great veteran that understands his job and what he needs to get done. So elevating the standard in practice, the competition level is good for everybody. And so, yeah, you want to see that as long as guys are doing their job.
You got a camp this Friday?
Yeah.
Free to be.
All right, there's Baker Mayfield. Listen, if you're making your list right now, I think Chris Sims had a list out of quarterbacks. He's in your top 10. Absolutely. I think stats wise, he was in the top 4 or 5 last year. But you know,
with the rest of the offense, yeah,
exactly. So you can put him. He's no lower than 10 in my book right now in the league. I think last year he was kind of mid, by most rankings in terms of preseason, but his over under on passing touchdowns, I think it was 22.5, ended up with 41. I haven't checked this year, but I'm going to go over whatever the hell it is. Because without him getting hurt, he's going to have a hell of a year. He really is. So good to hear from Baker Mayfield. Rachaad White also talked today, so we're going to get to that. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side and hear from Rachaad White. We're going to do more on the Rays as well. Got some other stuff to get to. UT baseball, another national championship, incredible. And the Panthers put an ass whooping on the Oilers last night, maybe in more ways than one. 6-1 was the final. Can they come back from that? I don't know. We'll talk about it. We are brought to you by the great folks at Onsite Construction, onsiteconstructionfl.com. Go to their website and see all the great work they've done. Get all their 5-star reviews and make sure that you take advantage of your free consultation with Onsite Construction. So they'll come out to your house and say, here's what we think we could do to make the hurricane-proof your house, or if you want to look at some restoration, some add-on ideas, they can do that as well. And that's a free consultation. And you get on the list. So if there's a hurricane and you're looking for a contractor, you'll be on the list and get first come, first serve on that list. That's a big deal. OnsiteConstructionFL.com. Back in 3. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. You know, we told you about the amazing Diamond Savings Account where your diamond never loses its value. Well, now, through the end of May, the Gold and Diamond Source will double your trade-in value up to $2,500. Just bring in your jewelry to trade and your $2,500 piece turns into $5,000. It's time to upgrade that ring, earrings, whatever. We have gemologists on site to make the deal. Double your trade value up to $2,500. Gets you $5,000 to spend. So go through your jewelry box and get that stuff you never wear and get something new and stylish that you're going to love. Great experience, and we will double your trade-in now till the end of May. We can finance you as well. No interest for 5 years. Only at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to get your AC unit ready for summer. And here at Third Generation Plumbing and Mechanical, we recommend getting ahead of the game, keeping your family cool before the hot summer months with one of our maintenance agreements in the hopes of avoiding the dreaded emergency service call. Our maintenance agreements include, we'll test the electrical components, check and tighten high and low voltage wire connections. We'll check the refrigerant for manufacturer's performance levels, test thermostats, calibrate if needed, clean the evaporator coil and condenser coil, and clear and treat the drain line and drain pans. Just call us at 813-961-8024 for the special rates, and a human will actually answer. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamonds Sports. First stones of June are amethyst, moonsight, pearl. Get pearls for your 30th anniversary. That's the gem for your 30th anniversary. So if you just had one, go get some pearls for your lovely lady at the Gold and Diamond Source. Goldanddiamond.com. You get 15% off any of those birthstones. So if you're shopping online, or better yet, just head on in. If you get looking for something for Father's Day, they got a great men's section there. So get some jewelry for your guy for Father's Day. So that's always kind of cool. They got some great watches there and all kinds of stuff. So check it out at the goldanddiamondsource.com. You know, if the playoffs started today, the Rays would be in.
Yep.
How about that? They would be the first wild card. Yeah. And maybe they'll run down the Yankees. I saw the other day they were plus 2,000 to win the AL East. I like that bet.
Wow, that's some value right there.
I think that's great value. It may have come down. Double check me on that, guys. Got both the interns in here today working hard, getting stats. So, yeah, they were plus 2,000. I think there were 6 back. They were plus 2,000. This may have been like 3 or 4 days ago. But right now, only 4 back. You know, obviously, the Yankees are going to be a huge public favorite.
Plus 1,200 right now on FanDuel.
That's gone down a lot. I knew I should have jumped up right away.
Yeah, but still, that's pretty good.
That's still good value. For their pitching staff,
4,400 to win the World Series.
If you told me they were going to go out and make a move for a slugger, I'd put some money on that. And they might still. What's the number? 4,001. Yeah. So that's still good value. I think they got a shot. If they were definitely to beef up this lineup with one slugger, I think they could definitely do it. No question about it. And it was one hell of a game last night. And also already sent Ian Seymour back down to Durham because they needed him to just come up for a relief appearance and brought Englert back up. So game 2 tonight at Boston. What are our starting matchups, guys? Checking on that. I have researchers here, Tim.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
Pepio
and Gillen. All right. Let's go.
I got Giolito here.
Giolito? Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys get a starting lineup, let me know because we always like to go through that and tell Cash where he screwed up already and be wrong. It's always fun. Christopher Cole says, how about that hockey game last night? The shit hit the fan. Wow. Edmonton had 10 minors, a major penalty, and 5 10-minute misconducts last night. That thing's got
a little out of hand, huh?
That escalated quickly. It really did. But this is from Connor McDavid. He said, it was a weird game. Obviously, when you start in the first with 4 penalties, that means half a period you're killing, and it's not a good way to get into your game. I thought a lot of power plays and penalty killing either way. We never got to our game. Evander Kane said, I think the game obviously got out of hand at the end. That stuff is going to happen. You look at some of the calls that were obviously frustrating. They seem to get away with it more than we do. It's tough to find the line. They're just doing as much stuff as we are. It's 4-4 and penalties at the end of the first, and then it just gets out of hand. That seemed to be paying a little more attention to our group. I didn't watch the game. Just watched the highlights. But I've seen in the series, well, all through the playoffs, that I think Florida's gotten away with murder. Not to say that they're not a great team. They're a freaking great team. But you lose 6-1 like this, you're kind of got the game taken out of your hands. So can they come back? They're down 2-1 now. It's only 2-1 in series, but you got game 3 coming up on Thursday. By the way, come watch it with us at Riveters. We're having a little watch party, giving away front row raised tickets. God must be present to win. So come on down to Riveters on Thursday evening. I don't know. I just, the way McDavid is playing, I think they got a shot. But Florida's just so freaking good. They're so good. Reinhart scored again last night. Marchand, Verhaeghe on the power play. It's just a lot. Losing that game 2 in overtime, they had so many opportunities to win it.
Yeah.
To me, that was it. If they go up 2-0, I think they got a real good shot to win the series. But at this point, Florida takes home ice, just makes, and then you lose 6-1. I mean, it's only one game. I get it, but they got to come back in game 4.
And the way that game finished, as physical as it did, I thought that game was never going to end, or I thought the players were never going to leave the ice. I just thought they were going to beat the crap out of each other. And what I think of Edmonton is already, just through 3 games, I think they are emotionally drained.
They look it.
Every shift on the ice, I see guys, it looks like they're playing in a game 7.
Yeah.
And they are just drained. The way that the Panthers are beating them up, they're playing the head games like they always do. That's how they've won every series this postseason. I just think Edmonton, and I don't know that Chris Knobloch has anything for his guys, as great of a coach as he is. I just think this is such a unique situation, now going back to back against the Panthers in the finals, and as beat up as they were physically going through the first 3 rounds in the West, I just see a team that's just emotionally drained, man. Yeah. I don't know if they've got anything left.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, unfortunately. I hate that the Panthers are going to be back-to-back, but it just might be what it is. All right, as I said, if you have any questions OTA-wise or any questions at all, make sure you put them in the comments. Tim Wotherspoon says, who's our punter? Well, it ain't Jake Camarda. It is Riley Dixon. Who we signed from the Broncos. Top 5 punter in the game. It's going to be a big help. It's going to be a really big help because the Bucs were not good in the punt game last year. And their special teams should be really good as well because they're deep at linebacker and they're deep at corner. So a lot of those guys are going to be your team's guys, and they got some good ones. I think you're going to have some pretty good players on teams. And if you got a good punter, you can flip the field and get that offense back on the field. But what you can't give up are those long drives. And you got to get the ball back, as we saw in the playoff game. You got to be more aggressive. What else we got? Christopher Cole, concerned at depth at offensive tackle. Yeah, I think that's good. Hainsey was so good. He could play center, guard, and offensive tackle. He could do it all for you. So now they got Andy Heck, who's a veteran guy. He's a guy. So. This guy Chukwuma, if I'm saying that correctly, the guy that played at Georgia State's only played about 2 or 3 years of football. He's still a ways away. I think he's more of a project. So yeah, we got a little depth issue, at offensive tackle degree. By the way, Tristan Wirfs showed up with a big knee brace on his right knee.
Huh?
Bowles
said, over his dog.
I don't know. Bowles said it was precautionary. But he said it with kind of a weird face.
Apparently, he was answering all of his questions like that this morning.
Yeah. He said it's precautionary. He'll be ready for training camp. All right. Okay. What's going on? So you had a one of those big, bulky right knee braces. But if it was serious, he wouldn't have been out there at all. So
yeah,
let's be honest. Lee says, let's be honest. If Baker goes down, the season's over. I don't disagree with that. But listen, if you got a more experienced backup, it's not. Right?
Shouldn't be, but
Cody says it just shows that the Bucs have $32 million in cap space right now. Bring in backup quarterback. We lose Baker, we're done. Yeah, we got cap space. Wouldn't cost a lot anyway. Your mom's house called. She said, late but name ideas for the defense: the red tide, the no wake zone, a Bayfront 4. That's out. That's not Bayfront 4. No. Red tide's always good. We've had that's kind of been mentioned before. I'm looking for something a little bit more specific to these guys. Hold on, where are they? There they are. Diaby, Logan Hall coming on.
Yeah.
Big 56, Desmond Watson, Vita Vea, or more specifically, these guys. 5-0, 5-0, and a 5-0. That's right, Vita's 5-0.
Yeah, Vita's 5-0.
And then you got 94. So what do we're doing something with 5-0, right? You're gonna get arrested. What are we doing with 5-0? There's something there. I don't know what it is, but let's workshop that. Let's workshop that with 5-0. Somehow, some way. What else we got here? Michael LaRue says Stephen A. Smith said he will not run for president because he makes too much money. Why ruin your life, bro? You got a really good life. Don't mess it up by running for president. Like who wants that job? Like Trump's got to be bananas for doing it. Constantly getting shot at. Like no, I mean everybody hates him. It's like not everybody. 20%. The 20%. I mean, can you believe what's going on in LA? Is that I saw a post today, and it's like on the right side, it's all the legacy media talking about, oh, it's a peaceful protest. Somebody goes, yeah, just some people watching cars burn. No big deal.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Yeah, the peaceful protest. It's just they just calling in the National Guard because they don't want people protesting against Trump. Well, maybe it's to save your entire city from burning down. I don't know. And I never understood the looting part of it. Like,
who does that benefit?
Is that protesters when you're going into the Apple store and just looting? Like, how's that work? Are we making a political statement there?
By stealing Apple Watches?
Yeah. How's that work?
Sticking it to the man.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Don't take the bait. A lot of people, listen, anybody, if you're protesting and you're setting cars on fire and you're spitting in the face of police officers and you're throwing rocks and boulders and injuring police officers and you're getting in the way of ICE agents doing their job or doxing them, you deserve to be punished to the full extent of the law. 100%. I'm all for protesting and peaceful protesting. There's no problem with that. That's not what this is. And this is not a spontaneous, organic stuff. These are clearly well-financed, orchestrated chaos. That's exactly what this is. If you think it's anything other than that, you're just not paying attention and you're not very smart. You're just not. But I'll say this, there's a very iconic picture going around with a guy with a Mexican flag, standing on top of a burning car. Let's not turn this against the Mexican people. There's not, I personally have my first cousins are Mexican. I spent a lot of time in Mexico in my youth, and the Mexican people are amazing people. They're incredibly friendly, wonderful, wonderful people who have been exploited by their government for far too long. But there's a lot of bad hombres down there. A lot of bad hombres, a lot of bad cartel people.
Yeah.
Those people need to be
government. Yeah.
Yeah. In the government's a cartel. Those people need to be dealt with, but let's not, it's just the same thing with, they want us to be divided. They want you to hate Mexicans. They want you to hate the other color. Don't fall into that trap. Don't do that. It works both ways. So let's not, I see a lot of that already, and we need to be smarter than that. We need to be way, way smarter than that. Tim Witherspoon says Pewter 5-0 Pirates. It's not quite there yet, but we're workshopping it.
Yep, it's the right direction.
We're going there. Yeah. Pewter Pirates 5-0. Okay. We'll see where this goes. Absolutely. All right, let's take another.
Somewhere we can go to ask AI to do this for us. Like, isn't that what the whole purpose of AI? We should be able to have AI just tell us stuff.
I'm so against that.
I don't know how to do that.
I'm so against that. I don't like. I don't like it. I'm so anti-AI. Isn't it terrible? Maybe it's because somebody stole my voice and produced a bunch of podcasts with my voice.
Did you see the
It's like, wait a minute.
Did you see
You need to pay me for that.
Did you see the Buffalo Bills schedule release video?
Which one was that? There were a lot of them
The one
folded
with
together.
Allen Iverson, who has absolutely no ties to the Bills or Buffalo, but it's because at the beginning of the video, like whoever was the GM was like, everybody's having AI do everything these days, so we went and found our own AI.
Oh, I like that.
And it was Allen Iverson, like sitting there in his shades and his hat, and he's just reading the schedule release.
That's
really
cute.
funny. Yeah,
that's
really
cute.
Funny.
I like that. No, I like that. All right. We want to listen to a little bit of Rachaad White. All right. Rachaad White, obviously last year's starter, supplanted by rookie Bucky Irving in some ways as a starter, but still going to get plenty of touches.
Yeah.
So here is Rachaad White chatting with us today. Look how much slimmer he is. Here we go.
A little bit at the spirited practice today. There's a lot of chirping going on out there. Did it make it a little bit more fun for you?
Yeah. Makes it a lot of fun. Guys out there competing, giving it they all when they're out there. Everybody trying to get better and push one another. So yeah, you can't complain about that at all. It comes with the game.
Rachaad, you're in really good shape this offseason. Would it be
really good shape?
Lean down, muscle up, and maybe you get even a tick faster?
I don't know. I think it was my mindset. Just trying to make sure I slim back down. Obviously, last year I played out. I want to go back and look at some of the things I did, like back at Arizona State or like coming in the league, like my body wise and what it looked like, and just wanted to shape it up right and be able to move around more better than I was the last 2 years. So,
where were you weight wise, and where are you now?
Now I'm 212. The past 2 years, my second year I was about like 223. Last year I was about like 221, 220.
How was it?
I outweigh Rachaad White by 50 pounds.
I'm not sure that's pertinent here, but thank you for that. But interesting how competition changes your mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, once Bucky got there, he's like, I better do something here.
And I'm not going to compete with you weight-wise. I'm not doing that. So not going to change my mindset one bit. All right. Yeah, I know. It's seriously, he look at him, how much leaner he is. And
yeah,
you drop 10 pounds, 11 pounds, you're going to be faster.
Yep.
That's just physics, I'm told.
The feeling being out there with that weight so far. I know you don't have pads on yet.
Yeah.
How are you moving and feeling?
Just been feeling smooth. I'm able to go longer.
Smooth.
I'm able to be quicker in and out of cuts. Just able to put my body in certain positions that the past 2 years I don't think I was able to do as well as I was my rookie year.
Do you have to
How
worry
about
at all
that?
with the weight loss about how your body holds up in pass pro, or is that?
No, it's just a mindset thing. You just gotta have a lot of heart. I mean, every player, everybody out there, sticking their face in something for the guy next to him. So it's the same thing.
Chad, you got a really talented running back room. Does your role change this year? Is it all the same? What are you feeling?
I don't know. I'm just going with the flow. I'm blessed. I'm going to my year 4. I'm healthy. This offseason been able to, just take a step back and be grateful, be appreciative for everything, that's been going on, that's transpired, and I'm just blessed. So I don't know. Like you said, we're very talented, and when we all touch the field, we all just try to make the most and push each other.
For sure. You mentioned it was year 4, and it's gone by quick. You'll be a free agent next year. You posted something on social media, last ride. What did that mean?
Really, I was just vibing to some country music. I was in the country mode.
Wow, that's
I had a cowboy hat on. I
surprising.
mean, some people saw my post for my camp.
Okay.
I had a cowboy hat on. I was just vibing to some country music.
Really. I was vibing to country music with my hat on yesterday, and all this weekend. You are not, Rachaad White. You can see how he just said that. I don't think he was being 100% truthful with that. I was vibing to my country music last ride. You could have said another ride, but you said last ride. There's no question by answering those 2 questions as he did. I'm blessed. I'm glad to be. We'll see what happens, right? He said, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know what the split's going to be. So interesting. I think this is really interesting because he comes in, he loses 10 pounds, significant weight loss, said, I'm making faster cuts. He's watched Bucky Irving do his thing last year.
Yeah.
And he's a competitive dude. I love Shot. I love him. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's a great team player. And I tell you what, he ain't going down easy. He is going down fighting. And I'm not saying he's going down. I mean, and everybody wants to put Bucky against him. It's kind of natural, but it's not like you have a quarterback and a backup quarterback and a starting running back and a backup running back. They're a tandem.
Yeah, not anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even with Sean Tucker, you actually have a triumvirate that I think you need to get all three of these guys touches. I don't necessarily like lots of, shuffling back and forth just to get guys touches within the offense. And every game's going to be different, right? Every game's going to be different. But significantly, I think those guys need to get, I'd say Bucky needs to get 20 to 25 touches. Rashad needs to get 10 to 15, and then, Sean Tucker, maybe 5 to 10 in there as well. And I don't know. And then of course there'll be injuries within games, within the season, guys will get more run, but having that kind of depth at running back is great. And having these two guys push each other is phenomenal.
It's good for both of them. And if for some reason White is the odd man out after this season, then just look how much better he's going to look for another team somewhere. And
right. And that's what he's thinking.
I would pray that team's the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not.
Oh, shut up. Calm down. Actually, he would do really well in that offense.
He would. I think he would. Yeah.
Country.
Yeah, for sure. I like music in general. All genres.
Oh, I like country.
Besides a lot of, heavy
That's
metal.
what I was vibing to. You weren't.
Rashad, what are your thoughts on learning Josh Grisari's offense?
Great answer, though.
It's been smooth. There's been some different transitions, different verbiage, different wrinkles that he added in. Obviously, we all think highly of Coach Grizz, how smart he is, everything that he stands for. He got some swag to him, poise, calm.
Got some swag. Talk about Grizzard, the OC.
He also just pushes us, but it's been smooth. It's been a great transition for everybody.
You're one of the best, running back route runners in the league. Just what can you do to kind of elevate your game even more in this new system with Grizz?
I think, me and just Coach Grizz talk about just, maybe just attacking every play, making a lot of my routes, just trusting what I got going on, my ability, and just going up and making play when the ball comes. So.
Does it seem like this offense, the passing game, wants to get a little bit more vertical? You had the touchdown against Green Bay a couple years ago, and you've had some of those go routes down the sidelines, the wheel routes and all that, but do you feel like there's a little bit more of a vertical passing game?
Yeah, I think it's I think Coach Grizz has done a lot of adding a lot of different wrinkles with the backs, me, Bucky, and things like that, being able to both be split out and when we're on the field at the same time and be able to run different routes and give different looks and give different concepts and being able for us to be interchangeable, things like that. And we did a great job this offseason. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna push the ball down the field. We got a lot of weapons. So
yeah.
Interesting. You said split them out. I love Bucky and Rashad, especially Rashad. Rashad's a big target.
Yeah.
He's 6'1.5". And he's got long arms. He presents himself as a really big target. I love splitting him out as a receiver because every time you bring him out of the backfield, if they're in the game at the same time, you bring him out of the backfield, chances are he's going to be one-on-one with a linebacker. And that is no contest. No contest the way he catches the ball on the run. So I look for a lot of that. And give me 4 or 5 touches a game with Rachaad White moving, not stationary, not a stationary catch, but moving out of the backfield, a little down and out, little in cut or any of those seams.
Yeah.
I'd love that against the linebacker. That's got big yards written all over.
And that's kind of how they used him last year. I know he had 6 receiving touchdowns during the year. Bucky didn't get his first receiving touchdown until the playoff game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when they were utilizing him, and I think that's the perfect mix.
Yeah, really is. They complement each other so well. So I don't think this is about one versus the other. It's about them as a tandem. I think they complement each other so well.
Rashad, how do you handle this camp, knowing that Bucky's going to get more of the lead role? And
get Evan Klosky
how can you
baiting
still be
him.
supportive and continue to add to what this offense is and everything that's returning?
Yeah. Our relationship speaks for itself. Bucky has done a great job, you know, and our relationship, it don't go based off of like who gets the more reps and things like that. We both try to help each other out, and that's what it's about. We both try to push each other. So how I go in the mindset is just keep competing, keep making him better as well as he keep making me better. And as long as us both being great and being better, I mean, it's going to make our team better. So
well said.
Sean, you've been the
All right, he had one more soundbite that I wanted to get to. I asked him at the end. Let me see if we can get to that.
When he's not here, this is your running back, bro. You got a rookie in there too. What's it been like to be like the veteran voice in a room? And what's Josh's rookie duties entailing right now?
Oh man, you just implied I'm getting old, bro.
You implied I'm getting old.
It's been crazy. Like I said, just been. You see the transition over the years, man. I'm blessed to be a vet in the room. I'm blessed to have the young guys kind of look up to me and hear me out, ask me questions, things like that. And I just answer them, being me, pure, genuine, and true to the form. And Josh, we really haven't figured that out yet because it's just mini camp and it's been OTAs, so we really haven't do much yet. But coming to training camp, yeah, he good. You know, same old. Have some snacks in there, get amount of snacks what everybody like, and some drinks and things like that.
Speaking of Josh, what have you seen from him on the field in terms of the skills that he brings?
Man, it's crazy. Me and Bucky talk about him all the time. We be loving what we see from him. He got a great instinct to the game. We like him. He got good vision. He good. He just play ball, and that's what we like about him, man. We talk about him all the time, and he talk to us, ask us questions and things like that. You know, he got a knack for learning, and that's what I love about our room. Like we all got a knack for learning. We all are smart, and we all want to be better.
Rashad, I know you were in New Orleans for Super Bowl week and all that, doing some media. How much being around that? How much does that drive you and make you kind of think about what it would be like to be there in the Super Bowl?
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy that, like you said, being around that, but in general, I mean, I just, like I said, looking back, I've been blessed to Mike and them tell me all the time since I came in to be able to make the playoffs every year of my career so far, and he tell me about the dark times they had and, how to cherish this moment. So that's all I try to do. I mean, we all try to look back and just see how close we was in certain games these past few years in the playoffs and what we got to do to get over that hump and how we got to come together. So not just being on media road, just looking at how we've lost games in the playoffs, like a one-score game or, you know what I'm saying, and things like that, and how we can get over that hump.
How hungry is this team to that end?
I mean, I say we starving, our belly, look at us right now. We hungry right now, like we coming out of practice. But we very hungry. We starving. We want it. We want it for each other. We want it for our vets, of course, our older guys, and looking at where they at in their career and how they want to walk off and things like that. So yeah, the young guys, we wanted that for them, and as a collective, we hungry.
I think that's interesting. It came from the heart. And I think they are hungry as a team, and they need to be. They need to be. They need to be disappointed how last year went, in my opinion.
Yeah, they should be.
They need to be disappointed they lost in the first round. And because I think I am. I think you can hear that in their voice, like especially right there from Rashad. We're hungry. We're starving. We want to win a championship. And I think a lot of these young guys that weren't around for the Super Bowl. They hear these other guys talking about it. They see, everybody talking about what winning the Super Bowls. They see those rings, makes them hungry. There's not that many guys left, and the rest of them are hungry and they want a piece of it. And I think it's palpable. You can definitely see it and hear it from them. Brian Molinaro, welcome in. He says if the Bucs have a top 10 defense, they're winning the Super Bowl.
I don't even think it needs. I think it needs to be top 15, and they can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it can't be 29th.
No.
I mean, overall, they were, I think 18th in the EPA or something last year, just like less than average. But you got to be better. You got to make plays. And that's what, Tyke Smith talked today, and he talked a lot about that. Is like being in, and I asked him that about, kind of being more aggressive as a defense. That's kind of been one of the talking points. And Todd Bowles has even said, yeah, I don't want them playing off. Then why are they?
So I think it's confusing to me, by the way.
Right.
That statement was confusing.
I think he's basically was saying that, guys just didn't listen to the coverage or didn't do what they were told to do.
Yeah, well, that's still on the coaches.
Right. Yeah.
Whether you're telling them to do it or not, if they keep doing it, then that's
take
an
them
issue
out,
with coaching.
put somebody else in. Yeah, right.
Yes,
That's how that works.
That was the most confusing part of that. To me.
I don't get that either. But he did say that they want to be more aggressive and they want to take the ball away more, and they're going to be. And that's, it's everybody says I want to be more aggressive. What it means in terms of being a defensive back is not playing safe. Like, you got to take chances. So much when you're teaching technique, there are certain techniques just like, okay, in this defense, we're going to give them a 5-yard out. We're going to give them a 5-yard out. And if you feel like you're in a position to go for the pick, make sure that you are, or there's certain techniques that they'll teach where it has to be a mindset. It's like when in that moment when the quarterback's looking my way and I think I can get it, I can't play it safe. I got to try to get it. I got to make the play. And I think it is a mindset. You got to preach it. It's like when now there may be times when you make the wrong decision, but in the NFL, to me, I'd rather out of 5 chances, take 4 and I'll live with the consequences. You just gotta, they got to get more turnovers. That's what this game is about. Getting people off the field, get turnovers. Got to get the ball back for the offense. Get them more possessions. 7 possessions in a game is not going to win you a game. And that's what they had in that playoff game against Washington. You got to get more possession. You can't allow them to convert on 4th down. You can't allow them 3rd down. You can't get no takeaways. You got to be better. And I think, to a man, they know that. All right, we'll take another break. We'll come back real quick, get into a couple other tidbits I wanted to get into. The University of Tampa baseball team has won another championship. Absolutely insane what's going on over there. So we'll touch on that. What's going on with the Falcons? A couple stories out there I want to hit. And I'm sure Tim has 10 more stories that he wants to talk about too, because he's been up all day prepping for the show. We are brought to you by thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Is that funny? thirdgenerationplumbing.com is where you go. They also do AC. True. Because they do AC, they do anything mechanical around the house. John Rodriguez, the owner of Third Generation Plumbing at the Tampa Sports Club Banquet. It's good to see him. And thank you for your support here and for the Tampa Sports Club. And he's the local guy, 3 generations, great reviews, honest company. That's what you want with an AC and a plumber, right? thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Back in 3.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite. I love it. So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Going through a medical emergency without health care insurance can cause you to go into crippling debt. In most scenarios, people are forced to either break into their retirement funds or worse, they're forced to file for bankruptcy. The sad truth is that health care insurance is crucial in today's day and age. Look, I get it. Many of you think you're never going to get sick and health insurance is really expensive. Well, we can help you out with that. Depending on your income, we can find great plans at huge discounts. God forbid you get cancer, a car accident. It could literally ruin you financially for life. So make the call and find out. Even though the open enrollment period is over, you may have some qualifying life events that can help you get covered right away. It can be very complicated, a very intimidating process, but we can help. Go to our website and check out all the 5-star reviews about our helpful agents. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour, as well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on our special time, 1 to 3 o'clock. We'll be doing the same thing tomorrow after OTAs. Thursday, we will be on 5 to 7. We have a special little graphic for this, don't we? This shows our entire schedule for the week.
Yeah.
That Tim made. We'll show it to you here in just a second.
Yeah. Got you
So
right here.
5 to 7, live from Riveters. The great Johnny Gerber is going to be live and in person. So all you ladies out there that have been saying, when's Johnny coming to town? Will you do a live remote? Well, here you go. Here's your opportunity, 5 to 7. You don't think there were a lot of those, Tim?
You get to see that salad in person. Good Lord.
Yeah, baby. Absolutely. The mechanical wonder that is Johnny Gerber.
Yeah,
5 to 7 o'clock live from Riveters. I said, can you bring some like golf gear to give away? Maybe we'll give away a couple dozen golf balls.
Maybe he'll bring some
U.S. Open.
He'll bring some Grecian formula to give away.
Ooh,
I have an overstock.
Some of that, yeah.
He's gonna kill me for saying that.
Use some of that hair growth stuff you're using too. Whatever
the minoxidil.
Whatever kind of minoxidil you're using, I need that.
These minoxidil.
So Friday, and we're giving away a front row tickets to a Rays game coming up soon. So, but must be present to win. Last time we did, people had to come up and give us a great take, and then we decide, and we had our man. Who was it?
Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Who did a rap song about Stu Sternberg and like all the competition went, yeah, I'm not beating that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we have it here?
Okay, ready.
Me doing the beatbox.
Just played in this book. Hot as hell. Shot 90. Fuck it. That's right, baby. Gonna go see Stu. Just sell the fucking team.
Okay, my butt's puckering again. I gotta beep that crap out.
What are you doing, man? We're in the family hour now.
I know it. I gotta redo that.
Yeah, please do.
It's just gonna be all beeps though at the end.
Kind of is, but so we'll give away some gear. We'll watch the U.S. Open, and we're gonna watch the hockey game. So come on down and join us Thursday night for happy hour at Riveters, just south of the Stein and Ray J.
Breaking U.S. Open news. I don't know if it's breaking anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this is the last appearance for one of the most overrated golfers in the history of the planet. As he had his U.S. Open, as Phil Mickelson has said, this is his last U.S. Open.
Oh, wow. His last shot at the Grand Slam.
Let's get the career slam. Yeah.
Career
so,
slam.
Thank
They gave
God.
away at Wingfoot.
Thank God we don't have to put up with that.
Do you see the shot he hit this week, though?
That flop shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all CGI. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Live Golf is now CGI.
Yeah, it's not even.
How about
real.
the shot Ryan Fox hit finally to get
to end the play, the 4-hole playoff,
the 4-hole pillow fight, as he called it?
It was, man. It was, but you know what? It was drama. It was dramatic.
It was.
Mainly because Sam Burns was on Johnny's card as the winner, and we were pulling for Burns.
I know, right?
I had Sam Fox in my top 20, or Ryan Fox in my top 20, so I already won that regardless. But I mean, and I had Cam Young as my top 10. My dartboard picks this week
were good.
I was great. Too bad they don't mean anything, but yeah, dude, that from 258 out puts it within
258. Yeah,
58 because Burns was 255 out. He was a little bit closer, but yeah, he was way farther from the pin, and that was it.
Well, and those were pretty similar distances to what they had previously, but neither one of them had the balls to go for the green.
Right,
The previous, they weren't, they
on
were
the
just
third
playing
time
safe.
around because it was the same hole. It was a different hole location the first two times.
Yeah, but still, just get the ball in the green. Well, where Sam Burns hit his after Ryan hits it to 5 feet from 256.
Right.
Sam Burns hit his 3-wood and hit it where the old pin was.
Right.
Had he done that? Had he done that in his first or second playoff hole, he'd have won the damn thing.
Man, and I really wanted them to tie through the fourth time around because I was curious, do they move the hole again after the fourth time?
I don't know.
Because you do it through after the first two times, right? And then they're still tied. So you change it for the third and fourth. Do they just keep playing that until they win, or do they move it again after the fourth time? Like, I wanted to see what was going to happen.
How about the pressure on the guy that was cutting the hole?
Tommy Fleetwood?
Tommy Fleetwood. Dude, you never cut a hole with 17 million people watching. You're usually doing it hung up at 6:30 in the morning.
Right. Nobody's looking.
Oh, shit, messed that one up.
On national television.
Back in and go do another one over here. F that one up.
Dude,
that was like, no, the world is watching. Don't F it up, bro.
God, that would have been so great.
Like, oh, damn. It
goes too deep.
Yeah. Or like, does it at an angle. Now you effed it up. And it's like, oh, God. Because there's an artistry to that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Just straight down and do it right. Otherwise, you can F that up.
Yeah.
And no, but he nailed it. He nailed it. So they had to do that. But I mean, Sam Burns had to feel like, why wasn't I a little bit more aggressive?
Oh, his entire 4 holes of the playoffs sucked. He couldn't birdie any. He should have birdied it on the first time they played, and he'd have won. And he
played it 5 times.
Yes,
and was even par, a bogey and a birdie.
And I still think the layoff from Burns, because remember, he finished his round an hour and 53 minutes before Fox made that birdie putt on 18 to put it into a playoff. And it was almost 2 hours to the minute since he had finished his round when they teed off on the first playoff hole. And I know he was out on the range a little bit. He wasn't out there for a while because he didn't know if until Fox got to like within 1, did he even hit out there. So I still think that layoff was a huge disadvantage for Burns.
One of the funniest things I thought was, so Trevor Immelman, obviously being British.
Good day, mate.
Yeah, good day, mate. Is he British or Australian?
He's British.
He's British, okay.
Yeah.
But he's very used to rugby, international competitions.
Actually, South African. I take that back.
See, South Africa. Yeah. So he's very, very versed in New England, the All Blacks, and their soccer team is the All Whites. And the All Whites, and they actually are all white.
Was it soccer? I couldn't figure out what sport it was.
Yeah,
okay.
They were the all. So the New Zealand national soccer team is called the All Whites because they were all white, and they are all white.
They are all white too.
But the rugby team is not all black. They just were
very
all black.
confusing to me.
But
too.
They're not all hung up on the black and white racism things like we are.
Yeah.
So Immelman keeps saying all whites. Oh, there's all whites. They were cheering on one. Jim Nantz could not bring himself to say all whites. Did you notice that?
Yes.
He could not. He'd say, oh, that's their soccer team.
And I guarantee you his butt puckered every time Trevor said it, too.
I
He's
know.
Like,
It's like, I'm not saying it. Stop saying all whites.
I had to hear it 2 or 3 times before I realized what he was saying, and I was like, wait a minute, what is he saying? Were they playing the All Blacks for the championship or something?
It's kind of funny. But the fact Nance wouldn't even go there was just
it was so great
to me. He's so proper, is so milquetoast about he couldn't dare. Can you think of one controversial thing he's ever said? Ever.
He was one of the first ones to stop using the term Redskins when all that came out, even before they were the Commanders. He was him, and I know Brad Sham here in Dallas, our longtime radio guy. They just called him the Washingtons. That's all that, for years. He refused to say the word Redskins. They were just the Washingtons. It's a little weird to me, but whatever.
And that's just weird. It's like
that may have been a network order, though. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't imagine.
I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but the virtue signaling is so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so you think you're doing something or taking some type of stand that's going to make a difference. No, you just look like an idiot. And you're actually, to me, people like that are the ones that you raise an eyebrow at. Like, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
What are you hiding? That you got to try to prepare to tell the world how wonderful you are and how altruistic you are. And I'm not going to say Redskins. Like, even though 98% of the Native Americans are fine with it, it's okay. We don't care. And many of them want the Redskins name back because it glorified their ancestries.
Right.
In a lot of ways, in positive ways. It's why the Seminoles handle it so well, and they love it. And there's a partnership to be had there that can be beneficial to everyone. It actually makes a difference in people's lives. Raising money for the tribes. See, that makes a difference. You not calling them the Redskins does nothing. No. Zero. Less than nothing.
Except bring more attention to it, right?
Right.
Like,
it's less than nothing. But actually turn it into something positive. Yeah, it's a good idea. Rick says 4-man pillow fight sounds like a JP musical. Hey. That's what it was. Trevor Immelman called it. Or no, Fox called it.
Fox called it the pillow fight. He knew, yeah. Neither one of them were playing well.
Your Mom's House, I just love this new moniker here. It says Cigar City Sack Company. Kind of like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I like that.
Cigar City Sack Company. We got to go get some sacks now, though. We look good.
Please.
They really look good. Where are they? Is this where they are? Oh, there they are.
There they are.
When they got together, I ran over there. I'm like, ooh, I got to get a picture of this. Look at that.
Heck yeah.
That's nice. That's a good group right there.
Better be exciting. That number 5 looks awful good right there.
Even he looks in great shape. Worried about him not being an OTA. Where the hell are you? Hey, listen, I still want them to be there learning things and learning their teammates, building part of the camaraderie, but, not losing my mind about it. Right. But he's in great shape. And just even today, watching him, how quick he is coming off the edge, wow. It's just a wow.
I would pose a guess that he's going to have more than the 1 sack that he posted this year.
I'm going to say yes. All right. So I'm a little hesitant to read this because I just got it off Twitter and I haven't spent 15 minutes verifying it yet. But I think this is actually a true. Can you guys double check that for me? Is this Simone Biles' post? Is this accurate?
Is it the one from yesterday?
No, it's one today where she's recanting what she said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you guys know the Riley Gaines, Simone Biles thing that's been going on back and forth about trans kids and them being able to play because Riley obviously was, and many of us are, as I posted it as well, about the Minnesota softball pitcher, the dude who, wins a state title and just dominates the girls as a dude. And, and then the coach of the other team who were playing, which I just is unbelievable, sent a message to all of the parents and the players that said, yeah, even though we're going to play, and wouldn't even say that the pitcher is trans and was a boy up until, a year ago or whatever it was. And wouldn't even say it. Just said, we don't want to concentrate on off the field issues. It's not an off the field issue. It's actually very much on the field.
Yeah.
Please do not bring any signs or make any statements about the other team, like admonishing the parents that even though their children, their daughters who've been playing softball all their lives and trying to win a state championship, and it's a dream that they could take with them for the rest of their life, this incredible accomplishment, even though that's going to be short-circuited by a dude, you can't say anything. Shut up. Your own coach telling you to shut up. Like, what? Like, what? Are you out of your
Very questionable
mind? Are you out of your freaking mind? That coach should be fired immediately. And of course, they got beat.
Like, I kind of get what he was trying to do, but he went about it the entire wrong way.
Well, listen, I have compassion for the kid. You know, nobody wants to pick on the kid. I just think it's very warped and it just, but you're also, you know, when you allow this, you're destroying women's sports. And if you argue against that, you're just not being honest.
No,
to me, it's more virtue signaling. It's more virtue signaling. You're not making things better. You're just doing it to make yourself feel better. That's what you're doing. It's a very selfish act. You're trying to show the world that you're open-minded and you're, quote, fair in your own mind. No, it does. You might be.
But it's not fair.
But it's not fair for the vast majority of the girls that are playing. Nobody is against trans kids. Nobody is against trans people. Nobody is I shouldn't say no. 99.9% of people, you know, there's a lot more people that are against old white guys like me than there are against trans kids. But that's just life, right? And so this is not about it's about the competition. And it's about keeping women's competition, as Riley Gaines has so artfully said. Now, Simone Biles, you read her original statement. Mm-hmm. Do you have it? Guys, find me Simone's original statement if you can find that. And so this, I guess, has just come out in the last. Wait, you got it? Let me read that. So Simone's original one with attacking Riley Gaines was, Riley Gaines, you're truly sick. All this campaigning because you lost a race. Remember that she lost to
how she became
Leah
famous.
Thomas? Yeah. Straight up sore loser, she said. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category in all sports, in all caps. But instead, you bully them. One thing's for sure, no one in sports is safe with you around. I mean,
has Simone Biles ever competed against a man?
No.
Well, there you go.
And if she did, she'd never win a medal.
Nope.
And that's just the way it is. Now, you might say on balance beam or something. Look, I know they're different exercises, but if they were doing and competing and practicing in the same exercises, she would lose. It's as simple as that. So, evidently, Simone, and just incredible backlash. And I love Simone Biles. She's one of my favorite athletes of all time. One of the greatest competitors. I mean, watching her perform in the Olympics was one of the greatest joys of my life. She's just insanely incredible in what she's doing. So when I saw this back and forth, I'm like, oh, Simone, what are you doing? What are you doing? So evidently she has thought better of it, and she put this out today, which I think is true. She said, I wanted to follow up from my last tweets. I've always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges. And it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for. Interesting. These are sensitive, complicated issues that I truly don't have the answers or solutions to, but I believe it starts with empathy and respect. I was not advocating for policies that compromise fairness in women's sports. Well, actually, you were, Simone. Yeah. That's what you said. And so people reacted to that. But I appreciate that she's recanting this. My objection is to be singling out children for public scrutiny in ways that feel personal and harmful. Individual athletes, especially kids, should never be the focus of criticism or a flawed system they have no control over. Well, I think that's basically what I just said. So I agree with her in that regard. I think she's going about it in the wrong way. But yeah, we don't like I feel bad talking about this young person, this kid. It just, I don't want to criticize them, but it's not this person should not be allowed to compete. The adults should be there saying, and that's part of it. When you allow them to compete like this, they're going to get the scrutiny. That kid, you're doing it to that kid.
Themselves. Yes.
You have to protect them from themselves. Yes. That's what parents are supposed to do. That's what adults are supposed to do when it comes to stuff like this, because kids don't think it through. They don't have the capacity to think it through. And evidently so some adults don't either. It's like,
I would have had more respect for her though if she would just come out and said, I had a glass of wine and I shot my mouth off. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can never blame alcohol, but you can keep trying.
I do it all the time. It works
We
for
all
me,
do
man.
it. We all does it?
I mean, as a matter of fact, you want to know something?
Ask your ex-wives.
I will tell
Plural about that.
They don't know me. You know what? I will even bring this into it while we're talking about Riley Gaines. I might have come home one night from the bar and been scrolling TikTok and came across one of Riley Gaines' posts and commented on it and said something like, I proposed to her. I'm like, marry me with a heart.
Shocking development.
She replied.
She did reply
with a smiley face and another heart and then a laughy face. If it wouldn't have been the laughy face, I might have been thinking, I'm going to marry Riley Gaines. But she had a laughy face with it. So she was entertained by my proposal. So there you go.
So you think.
So
once again, a distorted view of reality based on alcohol.
There's a chance.
So,
but I haven't talked to her since.
Getting back to Simone, which is we were well into. And I agree. So she says, my objection is to be singling out children for public scrutiny in ways that feel personal and harmful. Yeah, nobody wants that. Individual athletes, especially kids, should never be in the focus of criticism of a flaw. So yes, you're right. I believe sports organizations have a responsibility to come up with rules supporting inclusion while maintaining fair competition. We all want a future for sport that is fair, inclusive, and respectful. Yes, Simone. Yes, absolutely. 100%. We all want that. But letting trans kids participate in this way is not fair. And she's, I know, so I want a fair. Yeah, we all want that. That's all what nobody's, and this is the thing, Simone, you made it about Riley being against trans people.
Yeah.
Which is every one of us who are trying to protect women's sports, that's what we get. Oh, you hate trans people. No, we don't. No, we don't. And it's offensive that you say that we do. That's offensive. Nobody. I'm going to say nobody, but 99.9%. No, we don't want the kid in that position either. So stop doing it. It's not fair to the kid. The adults in the room should be better, but we never are. We never are. From COVID to this BS, we can't, because you know why? Because the people that let this crap happen have no balls to stand up to it and do what's right. You just, because of the stupid ass virtue signaling that has infected our culture, and you think you're doing something by I'm going to be open-minded. We're going to let these it feels good for you, but it's bad for the other girls. Like really bad.
And look, here's some reality right here. I firmly believe this. If that coach of that softball team with the trans pitcher on it came to this, hey, coach, I want to be on the team. If he would have taken a stand and tried to protect that child and said, you know what, sorry, we can't, and here's why, whatever, and gave his very astute commentary on what we're talking about right now, she would have gone to the school board or to the principal or to whoever's in charge, and he would have been fired immediately.
Yeah.
For making that decision and trying to take that stand to protect the child from him herself, whatever.
And again, it shouldn't be just the coach. It should be the organizational bodies that say, no, we're not going to allow this.
Exactly. And they're afraid to do that.
And it is to protect these athletes as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is. It's to protect the women, the girls' sports, and it's to protect these players as well, because they're going to get unfair backlash, and then they're going to say, "Oh, you're being mean to a trans kid." No, we're being mean to the people that are allowing this kid to do this. Yeah. We have rules across the board that don't allow children to make their own decisions on a lot of different things, because we've known as a civilized society that kids tend to make bad decisions when it comes to things like this. And unfortunately, adults don't have the balls or the intestinal fortitude to make the right decision for them. Yeah, you know what? If we could have a trans league, Simone, we're all for it. Let's have it. The problem is there aren't enough trans kids to be in the league. You know, and if there's some type of compromise, if there's a compromise where we can let this pitcher come in and pitch a couple of innings and be on the team and be part of the team, I'm kind of okay with that. But when it comes to the playoffs, I'm sorry, you got to sit down. You got to sit down for the playoffs. You can be in the dugout and have, and be with the team and be all a part of it, which I think is fair and compassionate. Like Simone says, don't kick them off the team. You want to be, yeah. But when it comes to like when we decide the champion, you got to sit down, because these other girls have worked their butts off. You know what? You want to be part of the team. And if I'm a coach on another team, right. And if it's, there might be a safety issue here as well, though.
For sure.
But if and I went to the coach and said, "Hey, I got a trans kid, and I just want him to play. I want him to have get a couple of innings. Is that cool?" I think there were a lot of coaches who would be like, "Yeah, let's work something out. Let's work something out. Let's try to work something out here." But when it comes to game time, where if it's a blowout, can she play? Yeah, or something. I don't know I don't know what the answers are, but I'm compassionate like that. Yeah, we want them to be part of the team. We don't want them to be singled out. Like, yeah. But when it comes to, but here's the problem. So many of these athletes are just bad male athletes that just are trying to take advantage of the system. Yeah. And that's a problem. So anyway. All right. Well, thank you. I think what Simone said was great. I think her response was absolutely spot on and well done. And, and I'm sure Riley Gaines would say, yeah, that's cool. Let's bury the hatchet.
She threw some personal insults out at Riley Gaines.
She really did.
Said she looked like a man.
Yeah, she did. She went way over the line.
And out of those two, Riley Gaines isn't the one that I would accuse of being a man.
See, well, you had to go there. You had to go there. Well, it's interesting that Simone, back when she was being criticized for looking like a man. There's a lot of contradictotive statements that were made.
Sure.
So I just feel like, somebody got in Simone's head or something. It's just, let's just think it through, people. Think it through and be more compassionate and helpful for everybody's sake.
And next time, make it easy on everyone and just blame the wine.
And there you go. It all comes back to more alcohol. Tim's always your go-to take.
It works for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got no problem with it, bro. I think it's hilarious. And it does work for you. So that,
fat, bald, ugly, old white guy. We always blame the alcohol.
Distorted view of reality. Alcohol is where I need to be at. 100%.
And as soon as we set a date, I will let everyone know about me and Riley Gaines' wedding ceremony.
Can't wait. Be the best man.
Yeah, you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
Simone Biles might be there.
Yeah. All right. Our thanks to Baker Mayfield and Rashad White who joined us today. We'll be out at OTAs tomorrow. We'll be bringing you more information and more interviews as well. And we will be on tomorrow 1 to 3 as well. Once again, new schedule this week, 1 to 3 tomorrow, 5 to 7 at Riveters Live on Thursday. We'll be giving away those Rays front row tickets. Must be present to win. So come hang out Thursday, Friday, regular time. Johnny Gerber coming in to do the show on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Go Rays. Yeah.